If you think being a good person is enough to protect you, you're already in danger. The world doesn't reward goodness. It studies it, tests it, and when the time is right, it uses it. Look around. The kindest people you know are often the ones who get walked on. They give, they trust, they show up over and over. And yet they're the ones who end up drained, betrayed, and asking themselves, why does this always happen to me? Here's why. Goodness without strategy is weakness. You were raised to believe that if you're kind, honest, and helpful, life will be fair. You were taught that people will return what you give, that the world operates on moral balance. But reality doesn't care what you were taught. It doesn't operate on kindness. It operates on leverage. You can be the most honest person in the room and still be lied to. You can be the most giving person in a relationship and still be left behind. You can be the most loyal employee and still get replaced the moment you stop being useful. Why? Because the world doesn't move on fairness. It moves on incentives. People don't respect those who give endlessly. They respect those who know when to stop, those who have boundaries, those who give by choice, not by habit. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He didn't preach evil. He warned about naivety. He saw that those who rely solely on goodness are the easiest to manipulate, not because they are wrong, but because they expect a world that doesn't exist. So here's the truth. Being good isn't enough. Not in this world. You need more. You need awareness. You need control. You need power, not to dominate others, but to protect yourself. Because if you don't know how to defend your goodness, it will be used against you. Let's talk about how to stop being a target and start becoming someone who controls how the game is played. We're told from childhood that kindness is strength, that being generous, open, and forgiving makes us powerful. But Machiavelli would ask, powerful to whom? Because in the real world, unfiltered kindness isn't power. It's an invitation to be taken advantage of, an invitation to be overlooked, an invitation to be used until you're empty. The world doesn't pause to reward virtue. It scans for opportunity, and the easiest opportunities are people who don't know how to say no. Think about the coworker who never complains, always takes extra tasks. They're not promoted. They're loaded with more work. Think about the friend who's always available. They're not cherished, they're forgotten. And the partner who loves without limits, they're not respected. They're often discarded. This is the trap. You believe your goodness is a shield, but to the wrong people, it's a neon sign that says, this person won't fight back. Machiavelli didn't hate kindness. He hated blindness. He believed that morality without calculation is like walking into a battlefield with flowers. Admirable, but suicidal. He saw that true strength is balance. Yes, be kind, but be smart. Give, but measure. Forgive, but remember. Serve, but only if it doesn't destroy you in the process. Because when kindness becomes routine, it stops being respected and starts being expected. And when people expect your goodness, they stop valuing it. They begin to believe they're entitled to it. That's when you lose power. So here's the truth most won't tell you. Kindness alone will not protect you. It must be chosen, not assumed. Given, not demanded. And always backed by the ability to withhold it when needed. Machiavelli's name is often twisted. People hear it and think manipulation, deception, cruelty. But those who actually read him, those who understand him, know this. He wasn't advocating evil. He was offering a survival manual because he saw the world for what it truly is, not what we wish it to be. He wrote in a time when betrayal was common, alliances fragile, and appearances deceiving. But what's changed? Politicians still smile while cutting deals behind closed doors. Corporations still speak of ethics while chasing profits at any cost. People still say they value loyalty until a better offer comes along. Machiavelli's harshest lesson is also his most accurate. People are not always what they seem. They can be kind until you're no longer useful. They can be moral until morality becomes inconvenient. They can be loyal until something more tempting arrives. He didn't say abandon your values. He said, Do not mistake appearances for reality. Just because someone says they care doesn't mean they won't leave. Just because someone acts fair doesn't mean they aren't playing a deeper game. And just because you're honest doesn't mean others won't lie to you if it serves them. The world respects power. It tolerates goodness. But toleration is fragile. It lasts only as long as you remain useful. So what's the solution? Learn to see clearly, not with hope, not with fear, with cold observation. Understand that morality is often a strategy, not a truth. People follow it when it benefits them and bend it when it doesn't. If you don't realize this, you'll continue to live in confusion, always asking, why do people treat me this way? But if you do realize it, you'll stop expecting fairness and start building resilience. Power isn't just in action, it's in perception. The world doesn't always follow the smartest, the most moral, or the most talented. It follows the ones who look like they know what they're doing. Confidence, control, presence. These aren't optional. They're currency. Think about it. A leader who hesitates gets questioned, but a leader who speaks with certainty, even when wrong, gets followed. People trust what looks strong, even if it's hollow. This is why Machiavelli wrote, "A ruler must appear virtuous, even if he is not. He must look in control. He must project power, because people respond to what they see, not what is true." The silent, competent worker often gets ignored, but the loud, confident speaker, they rise. This isn't fair, but it's real. Your body language, your tone, your silence, all of it shapes how others treat you. Speak less, watch more, move with intention. If people see you as uncertain, they will treat you as replaceable. But if they see you as composed, decisive, and just out of reach, they will lean in. That's how perception becomes power. And here's the Machiavellian twist. You don't need to be ruthless to have control. You just need to control what people see. Appear strong, even when you're figuring it out. Appear limited, even when you're holding the cards. Make people guess. Make them curious. Make them respect the mystery. Because once you become too predictable, too accessible, too available, you lose value. Let's make one thing clear. What is always available is never valued. Time, money, attention, even love. The more accessible something is, the easier it is to ignore or abuse. Most people think being present, being generous, being always there will earn them admiration. But in reality, it earns them something else. Invisibility. The employee who says yes to every task doesn't become a leader, they become a mule. The friend who's always the first to answer, the last to leave, becomes the one others assume will understand when they're left out. The partner who never sets boundaries often becomes the one no one bothers respecting. Machiavelli understood this principle perfectly. He knew that power is not just about showing up. It's about when you show up, how you show up, and most importantly, when you step away. Strategic distance builds mystery. It creates demand. It sends a clear message. My presence is a choice, not a given. When you speak all the time, your words lose weight, but when you speak with intention, people listen. When you give constantly, your generosity becomes background noise. But when you give selectively, it becomes valuable again. And when you're always available, people stop chasing you because they don't have to. Want more respect? Start saying no. Want more control? Stop trying to be everything for everyone. Reserve your time for those who deserve it. Be present, but not predictable. Be kind, but not convenient. Because when you create space, people begin to feel your absence. And in that absence, they remember your value. Here's a myth that keeps people weak. That kindness alone is strength. It sounds good, it feels right. But the world tells a different story. Time after time, good people get hurt. Not because they were wrong, but because they weren't ready. People take advantage of kindness that isn't guarded. They exploit honesty that isn't protected by caution. They ignore those who demand respect, but do nothing to enforce it. Machiavelli didn't reject kindness. He rejected weakness disguised as kindness. True strength isn't loud. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need to prove anything. It simply knows when to act, when to give, when to walk away. The most respected people in history were kind, but never weak. A wise leader rewards loyalty, but doesn't hesitate to eliminate threats. A powerful individual helps others, but not at the cost of self-destruction. Kindness, when it's real, is not a burden. It's a choice. It's not something you owe to everyone. It's something you offer to those who deserve it. And it must always be backed by strength. The strength to say no, to walk away, to protect your peace. Because when kindness becomes obligation, it turns into exhaustion. And when it becomes expected, it loses all its meaning. So don't stop being good, but start being strategic about it. Because kindness without boundaries isn't noble, it's dangerous. Now we arrive at the moment of truth, not for Machiavelli, for you. You've seen how kindness is exploited. You've seen how perception shapes power. You've seen how strategic distance commands respect. So here's the question. Will you keep waiting for the world to be fair? Or will you finally accept that fairness is not given? It's enforced. The truth is uncomfortable. That's why most people ignore it. They nod along, agree with the logic, then go back to pleasing everyone, apologizing for existing, and hoping someone notices their quiet goodness. But you're not most people. You're here because you want control, because you want respect, because you're ready to step out of naivety and into clarity. This is not a call to become cruel. It's a call to become aware, to see the world not through hope, but through understanding, to choose when to give and when to hold back, to build presence, not noise, to lead with silence, not desperation, to project power before saying a single word. Machiavelli's lesson isn't about being feared, it's about not being forgotten. So from this moment on, let go of the idea that being good is enough. Let go of the guilt that comes with boundaries. Let go of the fear that says, if I stop giving, I'll lose love. Because true respect, true power, begins when you learn to say, this is who I am, and I choose how I am treated. The choice is yours. Stay soft and stay stepped on, or stand up and take control.